Welcome, guys. We are streaming and doing the thing. This stream, for those watching the repeat that are going to get this off the bat, the stream, as it says, is going over groundwork and part one of the Apex tutorial. So, um, I don't know why it says unstable. That's really annoying. I even lowered my bitrate. When I'm on my Xbox, I might need to start streaming in 720p. I know you guys aren't going to love that. But, oh, live. Excellent. There we go. Okay, good. 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 That's working out just fine. Right. So, and this is going to be part one of a tutorial series that we're going to do to cover, like, extreme basics. You know, for people coming into Season 9, I want to have some content ready on the YouTube channel for them to go to and go, okay, like this is a cool game. I like the look, I like the sound, I like the guns, you know, like it's got a good concept, but how do I play it? You know, like how do I get better? What do I look for? What does all this stuff do? You know, like everything's color coded, so it makes it easy to upgrade, but it doesn't really tell you what anything does. So in this series, I want to tell you what things do. And so if you've played Apex for more than 20 hours, none of this is for you. You know, not yet. We'll get to that content, but right now, none of this is for you. This is for people who just picked up the game, who have been gone for a couple seasons, that want to know what's changed, what's, you know, all of that. This is what we're going to be covering. So it's going to be boring for a lot of people, but it also hopefully will be helpful for some people, and that's what we're aiming for, is for things to be helpful. We want things to be helpful. So things we're going to cover. We're going to cover the guns. What guns are good? What guns are bad? What are the TTKs? How do they compare to other guns? You know, all of that. What does the gear do? You know, like we all know that when you upgrade your gear, it does better versions of what it did before. But like, what does the gear do now? What does that actually mean? And what do the attachments do? Different attachments do different things. How do they do those things? When will they work for you? When will they not work for you? And effective ranges. So there's some things that we can skip, right? Because hammer points are leaving. So Skull Piercer is going away. Anvils are staying, and Quick Draw I think is staying. Unfortunately, it should go away. Quick Draw is dumb, but it does help, you know, for the guns that take it. What the Wingman and the RE45 take it. And if you're gonna run an RE45, you should pretty much always use Quick Draw. It's the only hop up the RE45 can take. There's no better option. It speeds up your ADS time and blah 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 blah. And we'll cover that in detail when we get there. But if you're going to use an RE45, which I don't recommend you doing, but if you're going to use an RE45, then boom, Quick Draw is a good thing to have. The main issue with Quick Draw is that it's purple, right? This is a rare loot. Well, actually, what's the actual term that they use on purple here? It is epic. Epic. Level 3 is epic. So the issue with Quick Draw holster largely is that big piece of loot. By the time you find a Quick Draw holster, you probably don't want your RE45 anymore, right? So it really it should be blue. It should be level 2 or even white. It should be common or rare, let alone epic. It's kind of dumb that Quick Draw is epic. It has a good boost. It has an epic level of boost. But it by the time that you end up wanting the damn thing, you shouldn't even have the RE45 to begin with. It's a drop gun, right? So it's a completely useless loot item. Like genuinely, it's completely useless. You can always avoid this. And so another thing is that we're going to kind of rant a teeny bit on this, and we're going to have a bit more freeform on this video, and then I will mute out or voice over or just clip together pieces for the YouTube video, because I'm going to edit this big stream into YouTube videos to make it a bit more digestible. So that's how we're going to handle a lot of this. So if there's moments where I'm quiet, it's because I want that bit in the YouTube video to have no voice of none of me talking, so I can talk over it later or something. But you know, we'll figure it out. So anyway, this is a super basic guide. If you guys have any questions, I am looking at chat, so if you want anything specific, if you have a quick nugget of info that you want to ask a question for and then get out, that's fine too. But we're going to start going down the list here of what the heck is Apex Legends and how do you play it, and then we're going to get this into a bunch of different things. So For Season 9, you're going to have 2 ways to play Apex Legends. You're going to have the 3v3 Arena mode, and you're going to have the Battle Royale. Now, the 3v3 Arena mode, I fully expect to be sweaty. To be very sweaty. I think it's going to be very, 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 very sweaty. So I recommend you play the Battle Royale because the skill... I don't know, and we don't know about skill-based matchmaking either. The Arena could have no skill-based matchmaking. You could have really strict skill-based matchmaking. It might be the same as the Battle Royale. If it is, then don't worry about which one you play first. But because you have there's a timer on Arena, right? You only have so long to do all the things. I think it would be very good for you to know what you like and what you do well with and what attachments you want before hopping into Arena. I think Arena is going to be very jarring for brand new players. So if you are a brand new player, go into firing range and just look at stuff and maybe mess around. If you don't want to play the Battle Royale and you never want to touch it and you just want to play Arena, that's awesome. No big deal. But you're going to want exposure to what all these things are and what they do. Because Arena has everything possible for you to get, and it's going to be really confusing if you don't know what all this stuff does. So I recommend doing that. For the Battle Royale, you're going to want to know what the heck all this stuff does. So, what are we looking at first? So, we do want to go over what guns to use and what guns not to do, but I think what we're going to start with just gear, just super basic. What does the gear do, and what the hell am I looking for, and what is the point of having all these different things, and going from there. And I'm going to make sure that my stream is actually keeping up with me right now because it doesn't look like it is. 1 second. Quick pause. When I stream on PC, it's just fine, but every time I stream on my Xbox, it always seems like this is just so far behind everything that I'm doing, and it constantly makes me reload the player and the web page, and I don't like it. I think it downloads just fine. I just can't get it to not pause and stutter. And then when I have to refresh the page, chat goes away. It's like a whole thing. It's really annoying. Oh, there we go. Okay. No, that's not Stream Manager. That's just watching the stream. We don't want to watch the stream. We want to manage the stream. Stream Manager. I would like to speak to the manager. There we go. Okay. Cool. So now that I know this is keeping up. So, knockdown shields. Let's just go super basic. Start off with knockdown shields. Knockdown shields, which you will be... In Season 9, you'll be spawning with level 1. This is the white is level 1. This is common. And then level 2 is... yeah, wait, what is it? Hold on. Level 1 is common, level 2 is rare, level 3 is epic, level 4 is legendary, and level 5 is heirloom. So that's this is the order here. Level 1 is white, this is common, level 2 is blue. This is epic rare, level 3 is epic, this is purple. Level 4 is gold, this is legendary, and level 5 is heirloom. This is red. So you're going to see, like, obviously off the bat, this is what it starts with, but we'll get to that later. Knockdown shields. First things first, knockdown shields. What do knockdown shields do? Well, you're going to be spawning with level 1 off the bat, so you only have to look out for these 3 on the ground. And a knockdown shield does exactly what it says. When you get knocked and you go into the downed state, which I can't show you right now, but... actually, I could. I could show you. I could show you the knock state. Hold on. When you get knocked, and you go into the down state, there we go. It does this. That's what that does. It's a knockdown shield, right? So when you get knocked down, and you can see the gold one has a special ability, but when you get into the knock state, you pull right trigger, and you activate a knockdown shield. What this does is it covers basically your front half about the same width as your character to damage. And the different knockdown shields have different levels of health. Let's see. Let me just make sure I get the numbers right. For level 1 knockdown shield, this has a max damage protection of 200. This is the white one. This is what you spawn with. And then you're going to be able to pick up level 2, which does 450 damage. Level 3 and level 4 both block 750. And this is how you're going to be able to help block some bullets when you're in the knockdown state. Things to note about the knockdown shield is that it doesn't cover everything. So basically, if you can't see them in the middle of your screen, they can shoot you, okay? other thing is that using the shield severely reduces your movement speed. So if you need to crawl to cover, you will need to either spam it like this. This is a good tactic. Or you can just let go and crawl and hope you don't get shot, or you can hold it and go slow the whole way. Another thing to note is this timer. I'm about to die, so I'm going to start my self-revive so that I don't die while in this state. But you have until your timer goes out for you to complete your self-revive if you have the gold knockdown. And only the gold knockdown does this. And once you use the gold knockdown shield, it goes down to level 3, and if you get knocked again, you will not be able to self-revive. It's a one-off thing. It demotes you to level 3 after using it. So I'm going to keep another one of those just in case. Another thing to note, I'm going to go down again. You don't thermite to go down. I'll show you what thermites do real quick too, but we're going to talk about them later. They burn, and they continue to burn after you go through them. You can see I'm not in the fire, but I just took damage. Now, another thing to note about the knockdown state is that health does not matter. As long as you have one, you can stay alive for the duration of that timer. You do not have one health at the very beginning of the time. That one health will never go away. So you can stay at any health for the entire duration of that timer, so long as you don't go down to 0 health. That's the stipulation. The other thing to keep note of for the knockdown shield is that, man, what was it? What was the other thing I was going to keep note of? Oh, the more you get knocked, the faster you your timer goes away, right? This is my second time getting knocked, so my timer is going away faster and faster and faster. And if I get even more, and more and more and more, until I think eventually you reach a point where you can no longer get revived. So I'm going to test that real quick. And we're going to see how many times I can get knocked before I'm no longer allowed to get picked back up. And I am currently at, this is now my third time getting knocked. You can see that the timer is going significantly faster. Significantly faster. I don't know the exact rates. I haven't tested it. I don't really care to, but that is what it does. And it's going to keep going away faster and faster and faster. And my stream is very far behind. Very far behind. Wow.
Don't put me on the list of casualties yet. Arcstar out.
So this is now my fourth time getting knocked. And we're going to see how quickly the timer goes away now. It should be going away even faster, and it is. It's going away significantly faster. So we're going to keep doing that.
Don't put me on the list of casualties yet. Frag out.
There we go. A little bit of a throw there. So this is now my fifth time getting knocked, and my timer seems to be going away at about the same rate as before. So they're fairly forgiving on the amount of times you can get knocked before you completely die. But here's the thing, is that this is part of what I want to be part of the rework. So we're gonna one of the reasons we're doing this is because I want to come back to this footage later, especially because I want to change this. I'm not happy with the way that this happens and the fact that you can be at 1 health the duration of the timer, especially your first knock. I don't like that you can be at 1 health and crawl away and get res because you still have another like 50 seconds on your timer, right? So I really don't like that, and I want to fix that. Oh, Nick's gonna be online. Yeah, so we're
Sergeant First Class
cool.
Anita Williams.
So that was my 6th time getting knocked. And oh, you know what? I can show you about the gold bag too. So we're still testing out how many times you can get knocked before you just die. I don't think you can ever just die. I think you get to just keep getting knocked at this state from, I think, the 4th knock or 5th knock over and over and over again with the same timer. I don't think they ever actually just straight kill you, which I consider to be a flaw. But this is the gold backpack. Now, you know, to jump ahead to what the gold backpack does, the gold backpack, should you revive yourself or another teammate, will do this.
Don't put me on the list of casualties
And
yet.
now I have extra health. And if I had a body shield as well, let's go here. These are Evo shields, so I can show you something with them in a second. by having and that is higher on damage. I'm just gonna get the damage put up on this guy real quick because now I can have empty shields, which is the whole point, because I want to have cracked shields to show you this, because you have to have cracked shields. There we go. Okay. Oh, that, I mean, it's just gonna make this faster, really. But 1 second.
Throwing thermite. Arc start out.
Oh, I didn't have the gold knock. My bad. Yeah, here, let me take Nick back. Yeah, sure. We're gonna game with duos again with Nick, like we did before. But let me show. I actually don't need to do that thing with the Evo shield that I was trying to do right now. I actually don't have to do that. My bad. I was being a little dumb. I'm allowed to be dumb from time to time.
Out.
This isn't gonna be enough to kill me. This. Oh, that wasn't enough either. So yeah, frags have splash damage, in case you didn't see. I didn't pick up the gold bag, so none of this is going to matter. I didn't plan this, which is why things are going the way that they're playing. I didn't have like a script in front of me about what to do. So give me a second. I didn't pick up gold bag. I need to have gold bag, and then we can do this, and then we can do this. Okay. So, you can see I'm still burning. That's what thermites do. But we're going to circle back to that and do like an actual thing. So, gold bag. I'm going to cut this bit out from the rest of it. But I should probably... Oh, god damn it. I felt bad that I talked and said I was going to cut it out, so that didn't go well. Hold on. I need a clean section of it to cut out to do the thing. So, we'll just come back to it. Basically, so that covers knockdown shields, right? That's everything you need to know about knockdown shields. Should be in that little bit. If I need to, I'll come back and record it. Okay, backpacks. Let's just skip over to backpacks. Backpacks. You're going to end up spawning with level 1 backpack, I believe, in... You know what? I'm going to double check that. In the patch notes for Apex Season 9, do you spawn with a backpack? The starter kit. Does the starter kit include a backpack? It does not. It does not include a backpack. The starter kit includes level 1 body, level 1 helmet, level 1 knockdown shield, 2 shield cells, and 2 syringes. That is the starter kit. The starter kit does not include level 1 backpack, which I think is a mistake, and we will talk about that in the future. So, as of Season 9, you will not spawn with a backpack. You currently don't in Season 8, but they're introducing... Currently in Season 8, you don't spawn with any of this, right? But in Season 9, they're introducing the starter pack, which is this guy, and this guy. So that's the starter pack, along with these guys as well. That and that, except you get 2, so I have to wait for them to come back. But that's not the starter pack. Anyway, sorry, that is the starter pack, but that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about right now is backpacks. Backpacks. So each tier of backpack will open up 2 inventory slots for you to use. And you can see how you have 6 locked slots in your item inventory. These item inventories are unlocked in stacks of 2. So the top and bottom one furthest to the left will unlock with the level 1 backpack. I can equip that, and now you can see that those 2 slots are unlocked. And then if I equip level 2 bag, the next 2 slots will unlock. And if I get all the way to the level 3 bag, or the epic bag, the purple bag, all of those slots will unlock. And this is actually super important because there recently, around Season 7, I think it was Season 7, there were a lot of changes to inventory. And it made the level 3 backpack even more important. Like, must pick up, must find. Like, you need to make sure you have this, especially toward the end game, so you can hold enough grenades. Because the grenades no longer stack in 2s unless you play as Fuse. So, That's the other issue with backpacks. So that's going to cover backpacks and what backpacks do. We'll get into inventory management and recommended setups for recommended ammo counts and all that kind of stuff. We'll come into that later with like a what's your goal, right? We're gonna give you in the game when you're looting, what is your goal loadout? What do you want to have by the end game? What do you want to make sure you get? What are you looking for after drop, right? So you're obviously gonna have to make do with whatever you get on drop, but what are you working toward? What's the best setup? What's the peak? That whole thing. We're gonna get to that. But next, there's the gold backpack, and each gold item does a special thing. So these 3 gold items here, we already showed you the gold knockdown shield. The gold knockdown shield lets you self-revive. The gold backpack will give extra health to a revived person. If you were paying attention, when we were first reviving ourselves with the gold knockdown shield, we only revived with about like 15 health. I think it's 15. It might be 10. It's 10 to 15 health. It's not super important. The next thing that the gold backpack does is that it will give you, I think it's 50 or 65 health, as well as 50 shield. We're going to show you that in a second with when we get knocked. So I'm going to pick up this guy, and we'll show you how much that you get. And then the gold helmet has an ability as well, and we're going to get to that in a second. But to tell you at the moment, the gold helmet lets your tactical and ultimate recharge faster. So this is super important on some legends and super not important on other legends. On Octane, it's basically useless. I don't know why this is happening, but anyway, on Octane that's basically useless, but on other legends it's really helpful, like Pathfinder. Pathfinder, that is a really helpful and awesome thing to have. So we're going to get knocked. Cool. And now we have the gold backpack as well. So now when we use our self-revive, we're going to get our gold that extra health from reviving, because that's what gold backpacks do. And this is super important to give to certain characters. There are 2 legends in the game, which we're going to cover, that should always get this back. So I think you get 60 health. This looks like 60 health and 50 shield, which is super important. And there are 2 characters that you always give the gold back to, right? Those 2 legends are... Nope. Here we go. Okay. Lifeline and Gibraltar. Okay. Lifeline's pretty straightforward, right? Like, her passive ability is that she can res people without, removing herself from combat. Lifeline can res with her drone now. I think as of Season 9, it will res 2 people at once, and they won't have this cool tactical shield. And I think it's paused by them using their knockdown shield. I don't think it continues while the knockdown shield is up. I think, if I remember correctly in the patch notes, it's paused while using their knockdown shield. And I think Lifeline was one of the first ones that they covered. Yes. Combat Revive no longer deploys a shield, can now revive 2 players at the same time, and can now cancel active revives in progress to allow your teammate to defend themselves with their knockdown shield. Cancel, not pause. Cancel. So if they use their knockdown shield while they are knocked, it will cancel the revive, and Lifeline will have to go back to that teammate and press the button again to get them to start reviving. So that's an important note, is that they now have no defenses while being revived as of Season 9, and using your knockdown shield will cancel the res completely, forcing the Lifeline to start it over again. So really kind of cutting that ability at the balls. That's a huge leg sweep there. Really big nerf to that ability. So, and I expect them to buff that, by the way. I think that they should buff it to it pausing the revive, not canceling it. I think that's going to be a big thing, because it's already, like, the knockdown shield already does so little that it canceling the ability is pretty bad. So, because odds are the knockdown shield won't save you anyway, right? Oh, it's only if they're at range. If they're close up to you, the knockdown shield is not saving you. Up close, the knockdown shield doesn't do almost anything. So it doesn't mean don't use it, right? You should use it. It does help, but it doesn't save you by any means. It just delays it, which is sometimes enough. A lot of streamers I see don't use it at all, even though they have it, and it's enough. It's enough. I've had many lives saved by the knockdown shield. Otherwise, I had to go and get revived at the mobile respawn beacon or somewhere. It's worth using. It's worth using. Just don't expect it to save you. But anyway, 2 legends you should always give the golden backpack to are Lifeline, because she can res without going out of combat, and Gibraltar, because Gibraltar, under his dome shield, reses faster. It should res faster. I've heard they've taken that away. I hope they did. But there's nothing that I haven't looked into it enough, but to my knowledge, he still does this, and I need to test it. But let me double check. I'm on the wiki right now, and hope this should have the most up-to-date data. The Dome of Protection. According to the Apex wiki, and we'll have to test this, he does revive allies 25% faster inside his dome. But they took away the fast heal. That's what they took away. He used to use meds faster inside his dome. That no longer happens, but it does seem that he does still revive allies 25% faster. So instead of 6 seconds, it takes 4.5 seconds. This is the important note. This is why you give it to Gibraltar, because Gibraltar, if he has his dome ready, can dome, res, and then all good. And on top of that, if he throws the dome down right before, if there's enough time after the dome is landed and he gets the res off for someone to pull off a shield battery or a med kit. Oh, I've been disconnected due to inactivity. That's annoying. Because the dome lasts 12 seconds, and it takes 4.5 seconds for that to go through, leaving 7.5 seconds left for that player to pop off meds. And that player, 7.5 seconds is enough time for... you know, it's not enough time for a medkit, is it? A medkit takes, I think, 8 seconds. Doesn't it? I believe a medkit takes 8 seconds. 7.5 seconds. It's not enough for a Phoenix. A Phoenix takes 10-ish. 10-ish. I think it's 10-ish. Let's double check. I have my numbers down of what I think it should take, but I don't have the current numbers down of how long it actually does take. A Phoenix kit takes 10 seconds. That's what I thought. A shield battery takes 5 seconds, and a med kit takes 8 seconds. So if the Gibraltar can pull off the revive within 2.5 seconds of throwing down the shield, then he has enough time to do a shield battery, or enough time to do 2 shield cells if it's right after, because that takes 6 seconds for 2 shield cells or 5 seconds for 1 shield battery. Then that's enough time for the person who was knocked to get rest under the dome and pull off heals, assuming that they're not getting pushed immediately. And this is where it's going to come down to how and when you do that. You know, you're going to have to work on your timing for when you revive, when you're safe, and kind of get that pace and that gut feeling down. But for the most part, the 2 legends that you should always give the gold backpack to are Gibraltar and Lifeline. And we just covered why. After that, if you find a second gold bag and you only have 1 Gibraltar and 1 Lifeline, then whoever has it has it, you know. From there, I give it to whoever the most skilled person is on your team. And, you know, some people might argue that if you give it to the best player on the team, even if you have a Gibraltar or Lifeline, then perhaps, but even the best player goes down, right? You know, even though he does carry you, right? If he's already carrying you, does it really matter if the rest of the team gets revived with extra health? Or is it more important to make sure that the best player has extra health if he ever goes down? Right? Because if you want to look at it that way, if you have a teammate who's clearly better than you, that's been carrying you or that can carry you, like maybe you're playing with your buddy, there's one theory where, yeah, maybe you go and you help him and you make it easier for you to help in combat because you have more health off a knock, right? But the issue with that is that you're already bad, right? So why would you like, your health isn't going to help you not be bad, right? Like, what's going to help you get the team the win is being okay with getting revived with almost no health, so that, and then using your life to help keep the best guy alive. You know, and that's how, if you want to, like, get the win, that's how you would do it. If you want to just play for fun, it doesn't matter, right? Just play however way you guys feel like playing, and just do your best to have fun. But if you want to play sweaty, if you want to do the best thing you can, then if you like playing Lifeline, if you like playing Gibraltar, don't go out of your way to play these legends if you don't like them, right? You're going to do even worse, and you're not going to improve if you just play these legends because they can help that one guy. Play who you want. But if you like playing Lifeline, if you like playing Gibraltar, then make sure you get the gold bag. Don't let the good guy hold it, because it's not going to matter if he reses you with more health, because you're not the one helping the team, right? You help the team by helping them stay alive. That's what support legends do. You don't help the team by putting out lots of damage. That's what mobility legends do. Mobilities are the attackers. Mobilities are the ones that carry the team on their back, and support legends make sure their back doesn't break, right? Like, that's what support does. They keep them alive, they keep them going, and they keep them as well equipped as they can, so that that person can thrive and do what they do best. And then you get to do what you do best, and you're at your best with the gold backpack, and sometimes the gold helmet. Anyway, end of rant. Moving on. What do helmets do? Helmets reduce. Yes, they reduce. Helmets reduce the headshot multiplier. They don't just do like a blanket, like, minus damage. Each weapon has its own headshot multiplier, and this headshot multiplier is run through an equation that dictates how much damage that gun will do. This helmet reduces that headshot multiplier by a certain percent. And that's all this does. If they have the equation on the Apex wiki that you can run through. So we'll cover that real quick. So the equation is the base damage of the gun times the value of the percent increase plus the... It's hard to actually explain it. It's better just to show you. And I can't really show you on stream right now, but I can put a graphic up with the document. So I'll do my best to explain it. So let's see. For example, the base damage is 100, the headshot, and the multiplier is 2. The equation is... So what you want to think of is that the helmet... no helmet is a base value of 1. And then it's 1 times the headshot multiplier. Right? And then that would be your headshot damage. Like, none of these dummies have helmets. So whenever you shoot one of these dummies in firing range, that's the base max headshot. The max headshot damage is 23. That's the max headshot damage the P2020 can do. And especially because there's no low profile in the game as of Season 9, 23 is the max headshot damage you can do. It does 15 to the body, 23 to the head. This is changing, right? It's now going to do 18 to the body, and then it's going to do the same multiplier to the head, which I want to say that that's a difference of 7, right? So it's about 1.5. About 1.5. So, you know, if it's doing 1.5, it'll probably end up doing 26 to the head. Or no, it'd be 18 plus 9. 27. So it'll end up doing 27 to the head. So that's what you're going to want to look out for, is that it'll end up doing 27 to the head. What's going to change is that the equation, instead of the helmet, when you have a helmet, instead of it just being a value of 1, the helmet takes away a portion of that value. So since the level 1 helmet reduces 20% of the damage, right? The level 1 helmet reduces 20% of the damage. So what this is going to mean is that instead of 1 times the headshot multiplier, it's now 0.8 times the headshot multiplier plus 0.2, and that becomes your new headshot multiplier. So instead of it being, you know, so basically if we ran through, let's say, I'll type it in the chat so that it's a bit easier. 16 times a headshot multiplier of 2 would make the headshot damage 32. But what the hidden value is, it's actually 16 times, and then parentheses 1 times 2, because that's no helmet, right? And so if we're going to look in chat real quick, this is what the helmet does, is that it takes that 1 value and it breaks it up into 0.2 plus, where's my plus sign? Plus 0.8. That's what that level 1 helmet does. That's not a plus, that's an equals. Okay, I didn't hit shift. Sorry. Imagine the equal sign as a plus. So what ends up getting multiplied is that it ends up being 0.2 times 0.8 times 2 parentheses, meaning that it ends up being, sorry, 0.2 plus, God, I'm already messing it up. Basically, it ends up, the new headshot multiplier, instead of it being a 2, it becomes 0.2 plus 1.6, because that is 0.8, 0.8 times 2 plus 0.2. So your new headshot multiplier ends up being 1.8 times 16 instead of 16 times 2. It'd be with the level 1 helmet, it goes into 16 times 1.8, which, what does that equate to? That's 41.8, just 1.8. That ends up being 28.8 damage, or probably 29. I think it's fair to say they round up. So if you have a level 1 helmet and a gun does 16 damage with a level 2 headshot multiplier, instead of doing 32 damage, it will now only do 29 damage. And the same thing on that equation happens every time you get a better helmet. When you get a level 2 helmet, it makes the headshot multiplier go down by 40%. And then the level 3 makes it 50%, and the gold is still 50%. So your headshot multiplier slowly gets lower and lower and lower, because now on a 40%, it's now not 2 times 0.8. That's right, it's 2 times 0.6. Right? So that... What is happening on my stream? Oh, come on. Really? The stream's probably fine. It's just my computer isn't liking it. So sorry. Let me... Yeah, Google Chrome is now no longer responding. Anyway, so instead of it being 0.8 times 0.2, it would be 0.6 times 0.2 plus 0.4. So it would be 1.2... 0.6 times 2, 1.2 plus 0.4 of 1.6 times the damage of the gun, which was 16, instead of it being 1.8. So that's kind of how it keeps going down. So a 2 times headshot multiplier, which a fair amount of the guns have, that headshot multiplier under a level 1 helmet gets reduced to 1.8, and then under a level 2 helmet it goes down to 1.6. And then under a level 3 helmet or level 4 helmet, it goes from 2 times 0.6 to 2 times 0.5, which would be 1, plus 0.5 would be 1.5. So that is the headshot multiplier reduction that you see on a gun from no helmet to level 3 helmet based on what the gun does. Now, if we look at something like the longbow does have a 2 times headshot multiplier, right? It does 55 to the body, it does 44 to the leg, and it does 110 to the head, meaning that it's a 2 times headshot multiplier. So if you have a level 3 helmet on, instead of it being 55 times 2, it's now 55 times 1.5, which is a significant difference. Right? It goes from doing 110 to the head to only doing 82, 83 to the head, which is a difference of 27 damage that you save yourself from using a level 3 helmet, right? And so this is the huge thing about helmets, is that especially level 2 helmets are so important to make sure you have at least a level 2 helmet. You can kind of go back and forth, right? If we look at the difference between a level 3 and level 2, it's not a big difference. It's 10%, right? So most of that difference is going to be from the level 2, because now instead of, we'll go 55 times 1.6, that's 88, right? 88 versus 83 is only 5 damage, right? And that 5 damage is the most damage difference that you're probably going to see, because not a lot of guns do more than 55 to the chest, except the Kraber, but the Kraber is a one-shot headshot anyway. And so of the guns that do, I mean, the Sentinel has a 2 times headshot. So we'll do it with the Sentinel, right? So the Sentinel hits for 70, and it does 140 to the head, right? And so this is, I think, the highest single shot in the game. The charge rifle doesn't count. I know the charge rifle does 90. It doesn't count, because it does 45 damage on the beam and 45 damage on the actual shot, so it doesn't count. And the beam doesn't do headshot damage. It's just 3.
Let's relocate here.
So it doesn't matter if you hit them in the head, because it's such a small value that you can't get a headshot multiplier off it in the first place. So the Sentinel, beside the PK, well, no, not the PK, sorry, beside the Kraber, should be the single most damage that you can do to the head, because of it has the highest body. Yeah, that's a fact. Okay, so the Sentinel is the one that's going to matter, right? So if we do 70 times 2, it's 140. 70 times 1.6 is 112, right? So we're going to look at that 112. I'm going to put that in chat so I don't forget. That's 112 with level 2 helmet. And then if we go to 70 times 1.5, that's only 105. So minus the 112 is only a 7-point difference in health. That's pretty negligible when it comes down to it. Like 7 health that can be the difference between you being 1 and you being dead, for sure. Like, it's not negligible, but when it comes to the actual purpose of the helmet and if like how fucked you are for not having it, that's a bit different, right? Because 7 health difference between level 2 and level 3 isn't that bad. But if you don't have, if we want to look at the difference between level 2 and level 1, that's a different story, right? 70 times 1.8 is 126, right? Minus the 112, that's a 14-point difference. Again, I could have done that just off the bat. It's twice as much health. So 14 health is a significant number. That's over a tenth of your health, right? 7 is only 7%. This is 14% of your health, of your base health. Or, you know, this would be 7% of your total health if you had level 3 body, but that's too much math. The point being is that 14 health is definitely enough that you don't want to shy away from that, and especially going from no helmet. You know, that this is how much less damage you're taking. Basically, for the Sentinel, you take 14 damage less for level 1 helmet versus no helmet, and then another 14 damage less from level 1 helmet to level 2 helmet. So total, you're saving yourself 28 damage to the head by having a level 2 helmet versus no helmet at all. And then you can save another 7 health if you go on to level 3. But basically, this is how it's going to go with every single gun, whether it's a 2x headshot multiplier or not. The higher your helmet, the less damage you'll take, and it's a significant difference from no helmet to level 2 helmet, but the difference from level 2 helmet to level 3 helmet is pretty negligible, especially since a 2x headshot multiplier is almost the highest. Actually, the longbow and the wingman will have a 2.15 headshot multiplier, because that's what Skull Piercer does, by the way. For those of you that don't know what Skull Piercer does, the Skull Piercer will increase the headshot damage of the longbow from a 2 to a 2.15. That's all it does. It's not a whole lot. You know, it doesn't make the gun secretly viable or secretly good. It just helps counteract some of the helmets. That's really all it does. So anyway, Skull Piercer is going away, so we don't have to worry about that. But point being is that when you're looking for gear on the battlefield, when you're looking at what helmets do, this is complete garbage. This is your minimum requirement for endgame. If you want to do well in the endgame, you need to make sure you have at least level 2. If you can find level 3, that's amazing. Always take it, but it's not the end of the world. If you don't have it, you won't lose a game. You likely won't lose a game because of it. At higher skill levels, you probably will lose a game because of it. But for now, for a lot of beginners, you don't need to worry about level 3 helmet or not. Once you have level 2, I recommend that it's safe for you to keep your eyes on gun attachments, right? Once you have level 2 helmet, make sure your gun is what you want. And then if you find the helmet, you find the helmet. If you have time to loot, you have time to loot. But if you're in a pinch, if you're under stress, if you don't have time to keep looting, if you have at least level 2, then don't worry about your helmet. You're fine, okay? That's kind of the takeaway from this. And then gold helmet. This is important. If you see a gold helmet, you probably do want to pick it up. If not for you, for the squad, right? This is the important thing, because the gold helmet will help your tactical ability recharge faster. If I shoot my smoke right now, I've got to shoot both. It's a 30-second cooldown, right, for my ultimate. But if I pick up that gold helmet, it just took off like 5 seconds, right? And that even seems like it's a little bit faster than just 1 second. Yeah. So that's every time I pick. Yeah, basically that's what the gold helmet does. You saw it take off about 5 seconds from my cooldown. That's what it does. So yeah, so it goes down from 30 seconds to 26 seconds. You know, and it basically 25 and a half. You saw that was a pretty quick second. So that's what the gold helmet's going to do. And for a legend like Bangalore, those 4.5 seconds that you save is a pretty significant difference. It really is. That's enough between life and death. Especially so. for legends like Bangalore, you really do want to think about giving them the gold helmet. Bloodhound, his tactical is under this, you know, for how quickly he can scan. Really important that you give him the gold helmet, because he can give the team so much more information if he has it. If you have a Gibby, this means he can get his dome faster, and getting him his dome faster can be a complete game changer, especially on the big maps like World's Edge and Olympus, because we won't have King's Canyon in Season 9. So, in this season, Season 9, giving the gold helmet to Gibraltar is going to be a pretty good play, because he'll give you that immediate, complete protection of his dome if he can get it faster. So, giving it to Gibraltar can be a worthwhile endeavor. It also helps him get his ult faster, and his ult's pretty good. So that's not the worst. Lifeline. This would let her use her healing drone more often, which is getting a good buff for Season 9, so that could be worthwhile. And she'll get a care package faster, which isn't, like, the worst, but, you know, like, you don't really need it. You know, you never really have. The game's kind of outgrown Lifeline, so, you know, that's not that big a deal. For Pathfinder, does the gold helmet suddenly make him usable? No, not really. They still need to fix Pathfinder. But the gold helmet will allow him to be a bit more consistent with his grapple, because it's variable. And so having that gold helmet to get it done faster is pretty important. So it's worthwhile as well. But not most important. If I had to prioritize, basically every legend is going to benefit from the gold helmet, right? I don't need to go through and tell you how all the benefits are going to benefit, how all the legends will benefit. That's kind of redundant. Who benefits the most, right? Who do I prioritize it to? Well, Bloodhound. Bloodhound's going to benefit quite a bit from it, assuming that the Bloodhound isn't getting knocked every 5 seconds. The Gibraltar, huge benefit. Really, really big benefit. Who else would benefit from it the most? Movement Legends, really. Horizon benefits from it, especially given her nerf. She's getting a pretty big nerf to her tactical timer, so Horizon with the gold helmet is going to be pretty important. So I would give it to Horizon, I would give it to Bangalore, I would give it to Bloodhound, I would give it to Gibraltar. Maybe an argument for Caustic, maybe Wraith. You know, her tactical isn't as big of an oh shit button anymore, so you don't really need to give it to Wraith, because, you know, like, she's probably going to die using the ability anyway. So, not a huge deal. Loba could be helpful because it affects the ultimate as well. For tacticals, I give it to Gibraltar, Bloodhound, and Bangalore, and Horizon. For ultimates, I mean Gibraltar again, Loba, maybe Octane, you know, maybe Octane for his jump pad to get it even faster. But for the most part, I would say the three I prioritize it to would be Bangalore, Bloodhound, and Gibraltar, especially for beginner play. Looking at base legends, like not ones you have to unlock, if the gold helmet, I think for base legends, the best three are Bangalore, Bloodhound, and Gibraltar. That's who I would give the gold helmet to the most. Lifeline's utility mostly comes from her passive, so the helmet doesn't apply. Pathfinder just becomes more consistent, but that doesn't really fix him as a legend, and same thing with Wraith. You know, Pathfinder and Wraith have been nerfed pretty heavily from launch, so the gold helmet, the gold bag, the gold knockdown doesn't really save them as legends, but the gold helmet helps exemplify the already meta abilities of Bloodhound and Bangalore and Gibraltar. So that's who I would give it to as well. And then knockdown shields, right? Knockdown shields give you extra health. So for those that don't know what knockdown shields do, why they're useful, they give you extra health, right? Knockdown shields, this is going to give you 50 extra health, this is going to give you 75 extra health, this is going to give you 100 extra health, and this is going to give you 125 extra health. So each one of those little bars that you see on the screen is 25 health. And so an important thing to remember is not just to keep track of, like, what level shield you have, but how much it's charged, right? Like, that just broke my entire shield. Even though I have red, that's the same as just having no shields. So don't get all cocky just because you have a red shield and it doesn't have anything in it, because you don't get any extra health. Like, it's gone. Now you do, right? But maybe this is a better option because arc stars tend to crack the entire shield, but that's changing in the new
Frag
season.
out.
This will have splash damage, so I can get some of it damaged and all of it, right? So now, this is actually kind of perfect. This red shield is now the equivalent of a purple shield, right? This now has the same amount of health as this shield because I've lost the extra 25 that the red Evo allows. So if I see someone with purple shield that I just pinged and I only hit him for 12, well, now he and I have about the same amount of health, right? If I get hit for this much and I hit him for not as much, then he and I are basically on an even playing field for health, and you no longer have an advantage. Because that 25 health is a pretty significant advantage in gunfights. It's enough to change the TTK enough to really allow you to get the upper hand. Like, especially the 50 health. 50 health is a huge advantage. If you have red and they have blue, oh, it's hard to lose. If you have purple and they have white, it's hard to lose, right? Because at that difference, the only way they make up the time to kill is by hitting your head. And at that point, if you're hitting them even at all, the flinch is going to throw them so far off your head it doesn't matter. So having 25 health is enough to give you the advantage you need if you're not as good as your opponent, but having 50 health or more difference in shields is enough to give you the win almost no matter what. It's seldom, rare you're going to come across the person that can circum that amount of difference without getting team, like, you know, if you get team shot, that's a different story, right? But if it's a 1v1 and you have 50 health or more on them, it's pretty hard for you to lose. So you can be a bit more confident in that. Just make sure that you actually have that health difference and that you're not just looking down and you actually have blue level health with red armor. You know, you got to make sure that you keep that on your mind. So, healing. You know, so that, you know, he just got back on. Nick got on. This has been an hour. So I think we're probably going to call that good. And then we'll get into all the weapon attachments in a minute and what they do. And then we're going to go ahead and get into health and healing, how long these take. We'll do a more intense session on that. We'll go into grenades and how they work, and which ones that you're going to want to prefer, what can destroy doors quickly, what can't. Thermites are very good for closed doors because they bleed through. This line of thermite will, well, that's a really big line. This will go through a door, right? And this will burn, it'll burn the door at the same time, and it will burn through the door and get the guy standing behind it. So thermites are really good for that. Arc stars and grenades, and frags rather, they don't go through, they don't bleed through damage on doors, right? That will destroy the door, and then you can need another grenade after the door's been blown up to throw in there, and then you'll be fine. And arc stars stick, right? They don't bounce off. So you can stick a person with arc star. I think thermite stick too. No, not really. Thermite. No, they don't. They don't stick. I should know that. I don't know why I thought they stuck. I should know that they don't. Yeah, so arc stars stick, and that's fun and neat. And they stick to whatever you throw them at. And including people. Here, oh wow, that was a pretty big radius. That's getting nerfed, by the way, so it shouldn't be that good. But they stick to people if you throw it at a person.
Throwing arc star.
Yep. So wow, that's a really big radius. Okay, that's not okay, dude. How far is that? That's a 7-meter radius. Oh, that is not okay. That's a load of shit. Okay, that's rework notes there for sure. A 7-meter radius on arc stars? That's dumb.
Arc star out.
That's so. You're telling me that's gonna crack that guy? Okay, it only did 33 to him, but it did 100 to me. Okay, so noted. It does more damage to you than it does to them. But you also get bonus damage for sticking someone with an arc star. I believe they're taking that away. I don't think they're gonna let that stay. I believe that's getting taken away. It'll be in the Season 9 patch notes. In fact, I can double check that right now for you. Let me double check about arc stars. Yes, arc stars. Aim and movement slow removed from the initial stick. Oh, nope. That's still gonna happen. The damage from the stick is still gonna happen, but the aim and movement slow will not. Okay. So it's still going to give you base damage. You're still going to benefit from the damage up top. But anyway, so hopefully that was a good insight into helmets, into body armor, into what legends should have what loot, what all this actually means, what to look out for. This is all really good stuff. Everything that you see in this corner is going to help you survive the end game, right? You want everything that you're doing should be getting this gear. Like, this is your top priority for end game, because it's going to open, the backpack opens up more possibilities, right? The knockdown shield will help you defend yourselves from ranged enemies and a team of enemies more effectively than these, right? Especially this guy. This guy's pretty OP. I actually want to change it, but this guy's pretty OP. So this is kind of important. And I even craft it in the replicator, because I do believe it can be that important. And also because this is the best defense to the Kraber you could possibly have. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. The Kraber, and we'll go get it, has a certain amount of damage that it does to the body. That damage to the body is 145. Right? As a knocked enemy, you have 100 health. So a single Kraber shot will completely kill you. It'll finish you. They don't have to hit. They can hit you in the toe, and it's still going to do 116. Right? So doesn't matter if they hit you in the toe. Doesn't matter if they hit you in the chest. Doesn't matter if they hit you in the head. If they hit you in the head when you're not knocked, it's an instant kill, by the way. So look out for that. But also, if there's a knocked enemy, this will kill them in one shot. However, this shield has 750 health, right? The Kraber does 145 a bullet and comes with a set number of bullets. You only get 12 shots, right? So if you get knocked and hold that knockdown shield at that Kraber guy, he's not going to shoot you, because a purple knockdown shield has way more health than this Kraber can output without wasting almost all of its rounds, right? So let's just pull out the calculator real quick. 750 divided by 145. If he's the only one shooting at you, it will take over 5 Kraber shots, right? 5 Kraber shots will do 725. So there will be 25 health left after 5 Kraber shots, which is almost half of his ammo just to finish you, let alone the shot it took to down you. So you're already at 6 shots off the 1 shot to down, and let's say realistically maybe the 5 shots it will take to break it if his teammates help it a little bit. So half his ammo for one person, right? No way. It's not worth it. So the best defense to the Kraber is a level 3 knockdown shield that you hold up the entire time. If you let this thing go for even a second, it gives him the in that he needs to take the shot and try to kill you. Now, the other interesting thing is that at range, I'll show you how long this thing takes. At range, the Kraber shot takes a significant amount of time to get there. At around 200 meters, it can take upwards of 350 milliseconds for the bullet to reach. A crazy amount of time, right?
Let's go this way.
This is 200 meters. I'm going to try to shoot that moving target. Look how long. One, I have to aim at that 2-meter dot. That 2-meter dot on the scope tells me the drop of the gun. This is for every scope in the game. It comes per, like, they all, no matter what gun you have or what scope you have on, this is what's going to do it. It's that simple. You just have to aim at the dot. There's no finessing, right? But I'm going to aim here. Okay. One sec. So this is how long it takes. It's not, again, that doesn't look super long to you, but on a moving target, it can be enough. Watch, I'll aim at the middle of this, right? I'll let it get moving full speed. I'll aim at the middle, and I'll probably miss. Okay, I hit. Okay. Okay, they might have sped this up. But I'm trying to see where I'm hitting. It's really hard to tell where I'm hitting. So let's aim here at the edge. I'm going to aim at the edge, and I missed. Right? I promise you I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm trying my best to aim at the edge, and I'm going to miss. I'm going to aim right there at the edge, and I'm missing. Because that's how long it takes. It doesn't look like it when you hit, right? When you hit your shot, you're like, oh, so good, I hit my shot, right? But what you're not looking at is if you aim at the wrong edge, right, it's not going to hit. Let's aim here, or aim ahead of it on this edge. That hit the middle. Do you see that? You see how long? I aimed at the very forward edge, and it looked like it hit the middle, if not a little bit behind the middle, right? About the middle. Now, another thing to note about the Kraber is that I'm not descoping on purpose. This is a requirement of the gun. It has a 600 millisecond ADS time, which is over just about half a second, right? And it takes about a third of a second for the bullet to even get there. But on top of that, after every single shot, you're forced to un-ADS, which means every single shot has a 600 millisecond buffer in between the time to kill. Because I cannot stay scoped. It will not let you. You have to let go. Sorry, you don't have to let go. It just boots you out. Whether you let go or not, it will boot you out of that scope after every single shot. And except that one. Now that I don't have any ammo, it's fine. But otherwise, I nothing I can do about it. Not a damn thing. Sentinel, you can stay scoped in, right? Every other sniper that I know of, you can stay scoped in, except the Kraber. And the Sentinel kind of has the same issue here. They all do. Is that the muzzle velocity is very slow. And hitting targets at range takes a significant amount of time. It wasn't moving anymore. But anyway, that's the quick guide, and we'll cover this again as well. But moving targets at range, you need to leave, and you need to leave a significant amount, or you're not going to hit it. And another note is that this moving target is really, it's kind of a lie, right? Because if I go up to it, it's moving the same speed as that one, by the way. But that moving, you know, I'm going to change over to Pathfinder real quick because I can do this faster.
Here I come, back from the sky.
This target is not moving at the same rate as players. It's a complete, right? Like most of your targets in Apex, they're not gonna be like meandering around. Like they're gonna be full on sprinting, and this target is not moving as quick as a sprinting player. So hold on, I need my grapple again.
Grappling.
Right. So let's try to keep up with this. Right. I'm just gonna walk. Look at that. Look. I'm already that much faster than that target, and that's me walking, right? It's a complete lie. Nothing, like, you are faster than this, right? The only way that I'm not as fast is if I do this. If I'm ADS moving, then yeah, maybe I'm about as slow as that. But you're just faster. Watch. If I sprint it, even faster. That's like a whole half a second. Look, it was about halfway. I'm about twice as fast as this thing sprinting. And if I really want to, like, you know, I can sprint and jump, and I'm... I can sprint and jump and get there faster. That was a bit of a cheat. Hold on. Or even better, let's say I'm a movement legend, right? I can do that. I'll give it a head start, right? So, look how much faster I can go. So at 200 meters, you saw that when I was at 200 meters away, target, I had to aim at this bit here to hit the middle, right? But that's half the speed, right? It's like that's half my sprinting speed. So if I want to hit a sprinting target in Apex Legends, I have to aim from here to there, right? It's from there to there is where I have to aim.
Might be something good this way.
Which is 2 meters. I have to aim 2 meters ahead of a sprinting target to hit them. And at 200 meters, it's kind of hard to tell what's 2 meters wide when you're that far away, right? Like how fucking far away is, like that's not even 2 meters. Let's go this way. Right? No, I'm 2 meters from that, but I'm not 2 meters from this. Hold on.
Let's go this way.
There we go. So that's this ping. This is me to it. Okay, 3 meters. 2 to 3 meters, right? About 3 meters. That's how far ahead you have to aim with the Kraber to hit a sprinting target in Apex Legends. You know, that's the issue with the movement speed. From here to there, right?
This way.
To use a sniper, from there to there, I have to aim almost that entire walkway ahead of the person I'm trying to shoot. That is how dumb sniping is in Apex Legends. That is how far I have to aim. Right, let's go see how wide that doorway is. This is the issue with Apex. This is why sniping is dumb. This is why you will never hear me recommend using a sniper. I use the Kraber all the time because it's one-shot headshot, but I don't use it at 200 meters, right? I'm not wasting my ammo trying to hit a moving target at 200 meters because I know I'm not going to hit it, no matter how good I get.
Good this way,
right? So there's 1 meter. That's, okay, 3 meters, right? Half of this walkway. That's how far I have to aim ahead. At 200 meters, I have to aim half of this walkway ahead of a sprinting target. Now, if they're standing still, it's not that hard to do it, to do it, right? But if he's moving and sprinting, and he's going twice as fast as that, and I have to aim that far ahead of him in order to hit him, right? That's a bit harder, you know? That's basically most people will never hit that shot. But this is a sniper, right? I'm supposed to be able to do this, right? But no, I'm not allowed. Even at 150 meters, it's not much better, right? Even at 100 meters, it's manageable. But that's a 10x, by the way. That is the distance of the Kraber being even kind of useful, is about there.
Let's explore
about there. That's 100 meters. That's about how big they should look in a 10x. For them to be hittable, even remotely, like you could try at this range, right? Not even like, oh, this is a guarantee. That should be a guaranteed kill for a sniper at this range. 100 meters, right? No,
might be
not a chance.
Good this way.
If I pull up the charts, which I think I can, I have the exact number of how long it takes. Let me double check. Current sniper rifle. Let's see. The Kraber at 100 meters takes 234 milliseconds, almost a quarter of a second, to hit a target at that range, right? Almost a quarter of a second. At 150 meters, it takes 333 milliseconds at this range.
Let's explore this
right
way.
There, at that range there, with a 10x, it takes a third of a second for the shot to get there. So this is the interesting part. You have to aim this. It's the same relative bit. You know, you have to aim that far ahead of a sprinting target, even at this range, or almost. Oh no, I'm sorry. Probably half. Probably close to half. No, at 200 meters, it's 467. So it's almost the same. You have to aim almost the same amount ahead, at a moving target this far away. That's how slow these shots are. It's ridiculous. You have to aim basically 1.5 meters, 2 meters ahead of a moving target, of a sprinting target in Apex to hit it. It's ridiculous. And it's just too hard. It's just too hard. At 250 meters, it takes over half a second. Which 250 meters, by the way, is from all the way back here. Right? This is 250 meters. From all the way back here to that rock,
might be something good
is
this
250.
Way.
So from here to there, it takes half a second, which basically means don't try. Most of these values basically mean don't try. For 50 meters, it takes 100 milliseconds. So, 50 meters. How far is 50 meters? It's about this. This is about 50.
Let's go this way.
61. Yeah. Yeah, 50 meters. Through a 10x. If they look like that, then you basically don't have to lead. That anything past this, through a 6x or a 10x, you basically have to lead your shot. And even then, 100 milliseconds is enough that you want to aim at this shoulder to hit the other one, kind of thing. Like, it's... you almost never have to not lead your shots in Apex. The only time you don't have to is standing still, and these values take so long that by the time the shot gets there, it's long enough that they could have moved. That's the issue, right? It's not that it's hard to hit moving targets. It is hard to hit moving targets. It's exceptionally hard to hit moving targets, which makes it fairly rewarding. But it also means that when you shoot a standing still target, if they start to move, right, then you're kind of fucked, because what you need to remember is that we're not shooting them in the body. Their body isn't 3 meters wide, right? Their head is only the size of that little guy. So if you need to hit that at 200 meters like this, and it takes almost half a second, 467 milliseconds for the shot to get there, his head's probably going to move. So it doesn't even matter, because 400 milliseconds is enough for that guy to decide to move. Anyway, before this is turning into too much of a rant, which is like why I want to fix the game. This is why I feel the need to make these changes, because it's just ludicrous how the game has stayed this way for this long. So we're gonna end the stream. It's laughable, basically. Sniping in Apex is completely laughable. You want to know what Warzone would be? Warzone would be significantly less than 467 milliseconds. If I go to my other document, which I based off of Warzone for the SMGs, right? My version of the Kraber would go 200 meters in 157 milliseconds, not 467. Okay? Completely different. And that number is based off of the movement speed of Warzone, which is 5 meters per second, and Apex is like 4.2 meters per second. So I took what was considered a good speed in Warzone and extrapolated that to a bunch of different scenarios, and then ran that through a multiplier to account for the slower movement speed to lengthen that time to make it a slower bullet, so that the ratio between this and Warzone was about the same. And ideally, mathematically, it'd be identical, right? And so that's how I got this number, right? In equivalence to Warzone, if you wanted to have the same amount of time at the same range, on the same, well, not the same amount of time, but the difficulty of hitting a moving target in Warzone to Apex, if you wanted to convert that number from Warzone to Apex to make it the same difficulty of hitting moving targets in Warzone as Apex, then the Kraber would need to shoot 200 meters in 157 milliseconds to be compared with a good sniper in Warzone. Not a bad one, not a slow one, but a fast muzzle velocity. A slow one would be more in the lines of 264 or 314 milliseconds. And this is the part that is important, is that when comparing Apex to Warzone, not only is what would be considered a bad muzzle velocity in Warzone lower than the values of Apex, but consistently across the board for every gun in the game, they typically start and finish out or way outside of what is considered the slow range of guns in Warzone. Okay? That's how different these two games are. Is that any conception that you have as a Warzone player coming into Apex that your shots will be about the same, you need to lead shots up to 3 times more than you would in Warzone to even touch people in Apex. And that starts at ranges almost immediately. Almost immediately. There's times in 50 meters in Apex that if a target is sprinting, you already have to lead them when they're 50 meters away. In Warzone, 50 meters sprinting, you aim at like the front of their body and you hit them. In Apex, 50 meters sprinting, you need to aim almost a meter ahead of them in order to hit them. You know, like it's significant. It truly is significant, and it's worth talking about because this is a shooter, and the guns feel random as hell because velocity. Ranged combat in Apex is suffering because of muzzle velocity, because people can't consistently hit their shots, and what that does is it exacerbates the shotgun SMG meta. That's what makes the Mastiff so annoying, is because you can't do shit before they get next to you. That's what makes the R9 so annoying, is that you can't do shit, or the Volt so annoying, is because by the time this guy can get up close with the Volt to completely fucking destroy you, right? Then by the time he can do this, it doesn't matter, because all he has to do is get to here. And you're basically shredded, right? Look, if I put a mag on this, I'll show you how bad it can get. You can one-clip people so easy with the Volt, right? So easy with the Volt. You put a level 3 mag on this, hell, level 1 stabilizer and a fucking optic, dude, it's not hard. It's not hard at all. And God forbid they don't have armor, dude. God forbid they don't. It just melts. And the hip fire is fantastic. Right? So if I can do this really quickly, and I can take a zip line over to you, and all I really have to do is fucking bunny hop to make sure you don't hit my head, and then use my grapple for a little bit of swing before I just get up to you and do that. That was a horrible swing, by the way. But point being is that, especially, imagine the downhill possibility, right? Like, it's dumb how easy it is to do this and how hard it is to use snipers. It's a completely different class. And granted, these have the same issue. If I go out to range, it takes a really long time for this to hit too, but that's not the point. It doesn't matter if it's hard to use an SMG at range. It should be, right? It should take a long time for rounds to get there. On a moving target, I should have to lead. But that's not the issue. The issue is how hard it is to use this. This should be instant, no matter what. I should not be able to fire there and miss. That should not happen. It should not take 6 frames for a sentinel round to hit its target. Because when I hit there, you know, it's gonna miss. That shot on a sprinting target would miss. If that was the back of the character model and you sprinting, that shot misses. Right? That shot misses. It hits now, but this is half the speed of a sprinting player and not even full speed of a walking player. So those shots just miss all the time, and I should be able to aim at the back of that character at this range and get the hit. And that's what my changes do. My changes let this be, if the dot is on their model when you pull the trigger, it's a hit at this range, regardless, because this is only 87 meters. If you can't basically hit scan with a gun, a sniper from 87 meters, what the fuck is the point of sniping, right? This is why I don't snipe in Apex Legends, because a sprinting target is not even like the equivalent of hit scan at this range. Not even close. And it's super annoying. Anyway, I need to end the stream because we're going to do some deals with Nick. So, thank you all for coming.